All right, we're live. Welcome to Talking Investing.
Hello.
Hey-o.
So it happened.
What happened?
Right now it happened. Do I know what it is?
Yes.
Bitcoin turned up. It does it. It's like the bell closes and now it's time to go for a ride. It's the Friday thing. Happens every Friday. And we should know. We should like write the script. You know that? We should be like, this is going to recover at 4:05 on Friday, and you're going to see a new record this weekend.
Ooh,
right?
Yeah.
That's probably what's going to happen again, don't you think?
Yeah. And I'm looking at these are the 1 hour candles, so all afternoon was a beautiful thing. But yeah,
It was a great
this one since
It was
4
a great
o'clock,
day.
We are green.
Just so you know, it's a lot easier to do this conversation with you, Tom, after an afternoon like we just had. I just want everybody to know that.
Yeah, I wasn't too pleased around, say, 10:30, 11 o'clock this morning.
And yesterday I was a disaster. I didn't get out of my bathrobe. Like, nah, I'm keeping my slippers on all day.
You got to get out of your bathrobe and your sweats. No matter what, you got to get up and about.
So, anything shocking happening in any of the miners this week, Tom? Anything?
There was some news this week, nothing shocking, I wouldn't say. I mean, the first thing is that we're back to 64,465 right now as we speak. And I put out a video earlier today. We were fighting this line at 62,800. And you can see this is the 11 o'clock candle. It candle wicked below that line, but we never closed below it. And that was a key battle, because it looked right here like maybe we were about to lose it and go test 60. But that did not happen. It's been all green since then. So just crossed 64,500. I'm feeling like it's, we'll still bounce around like we always do. We gotta get back above this yellow line right here. We messed around with this line for a day and a half. So if we can just cross through this fast, that would be good. I don't want to get bogged down here again, and I don't want this to turn into resistance. We got to flip it, turn it into support, and run back up to our all-time high. That's the plan.
All-time high. Hang on, I'm working on the Discord. I'm going to try to put the Discord in again, even though it doesn't ever work, but I'll try to do it on the chat.
Oh,
so
we do this every time, but it's
it never works out. So tell me, let's just jump away from Bitcoin mining for a second. We care about all different stocks of this non-financial advice channel, right?
Yes, this is not financial advice. We talk about investing.
We talk about it. Let's talk about the biggest. Was it the biggest IPO ever?
The biggest IPO of the year 2021.
Yes, and that was
Rivian.
Rivian. What's the ticker?
I think it's RIVN. Here.
RIVN.
Let me see.
Here's where. I actually got margin called yesterday. Hey Ryan. Hey George. Hey Mr. Bro.
What I wanted to do.
And hey, is that supposed to be Amar? Amar, hello. Bitcoin is going to recover, I think. Who believes in Plan B? Are we still believing Plan B is going to happen? Yeah, if you ain't in Discord already, you ain't loyal. Yeah, but anytime I do this, let's see. I put it in and let's see if it took it. Hang on, maybe I do it this way.
Yeah, once we get everybody in, I think we're going to try and do a poll. Just answer yes or no right in the comments. We got a couple things we want to know what's on everybody's mind.
Did that show up? Did anybody can see the Discord without the H? See, it looks to me like it shows up. That's why I can't tell.
It's weird. I don't see it. I don't see it showing up in the chat. Is that where it should show up?
Yes, in the chat.
I do not see that.
You do not see it? Okay. So what I'm going to do, guys, is just type in the the actual Discord like name. So if you just cut and paste that, go to discord.gg/ and then this, then you can get to the Discord, which we have how many members? 5?
Yeah, that's right. We're on fire.
We're on fire with 5. So
we haven't actually done anything in there yet, but we do have 5 members.
So EV time, let's talk about it.
All right.
$130 a share. What's the market cap on this baby?
Give me just 1 second.
Are you gonna rush out and buy some?
No, I am not gonna rush out and buy some. Quite the opposite. Let me get to let's see. All right.
Yay! Somebody did it.
Ah!
Even though it's a different thing, hopefully it still works.
Oh, that's cool. How come it looks like I did it?
It worked! It worked! The only plan we ever worry about is the pill I give my side chick, my side hustle.
So does anybody know, has anybody been following, are you guys following the EV sector? And did you see this Rivian IPO this week?
I didn't see it.
So let me know in the comments if you've seen this. If you did not see this, I just want to spend a minute and talk about it, and we will definitely get to all the miners. You know, that's our thing, and it was a wild ride this week, so a lot to talk about. But I can't resist talking about this thing. These guys IPO'd. They were going to IPO at like $62, and then they raised it, and I think they ended up IPOing at $74 or $78. They're at $130. They are now, this company's 2 days old, publicly traded. They're a $127 billion market cap. They just passed Target in market cap. So, you know that store that's 50,000 square feet in every single city in the country and half the world? Yeah, these guys are bigger than that now.
I'm looking to short too. Short. But the reason why we're doing this is because we want you to see how, can we say they? How they. I don't know who they are, but this is how they steal your money. They run these things up, go through the roof, and there's no. And listen, this is again George talking. Tom's the information guy, and even I can see this one. There's no data to back this up. How many cars have they sold, Tom?
To date, they have delivered 0 cars.
Oh, okay. So this is a future value. So why wouldn't Bitcoin stocks have a future value? They're going to make money. There's a high likelihood that next year, 2022, which is the year of the poop, that they're gonna make serious coin.
I'm just doing the math while you're talking. $6.5 billion of shares of Rivian traded today.
It's insane. So
you know, or if you don't know, let me be the first to tell you, that was not the hedge funds buying today. So $6.5 billion of retail money went into this stock between $120 and $130. All the pre-IPO guys got it for half that or less. And this is what they do. Like, how on earth is if I showed you the list of companies that this is bigger than, it's jaw-dropping. They're twice the size of Ford. They're twice the size of BMW. They're almost twice the size as General Motors. I think they're the second biggest. No, they're not the second biggest. They're the third or fourth biggest car company in the world. Tesla being the biggest. So I'm never ever saying anything about Tesla because
the channel will get banned.
I can't rail against Tesla, but I can rail against Rivian.
Well,
these guys haven't delivered a single car. Their revenue lifetime to date is 0.
So hang on one second. The one thing I will say about Tesla just doesn't do cars. he has a ton of other things he's after. So that's why this doesn't make any sense even more, is because the only thing they're talking about is cars. And I don't even know if I like their freaking truck and their SUV.
And by the way, their trucks are start at 70 grand.
Who's going to pay 70 grand for that?
So they need to sell, in order to compete with a BMW or a Ford, they need to sell millions of these every year. They're probably going to sell, I don't know, 10,000 of these next year, 20,000 if they're lucky.
This is why, with this channel, please do me a favor and like it. I just did. Please do me a favor and like it. And this is why we have really focused on these miners.
Just so that you know, Michael, yes, I do know that, but that is even misleading. There's a $100,000 truck order from Amazon, but that is over 10 years, and it's just a right of first refusal. So what Amazon has is, for the first 100,000 trucks they make, Amazon has the right to buy those. They expect to only deliver a few thousand of those over the next year. So, even those are the kind of headlines that get everybody's... I saw that headline 100 times, and you would think, from looking at that story, that Amazon just bought 100,000 trucks from them. But even if they did buy 100,000 trucks, that's nothing.
Nothing to evaluate. So, I mean, what should it be?
Thanks for pointing that out, Michael. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Those kinds of stories and that.
So what we've always noticed, and this is the whole reason we started doing this. Can you hear me, Tom?
Yep.
Okay, the whole reason we started doing this is because we noticed that they're due a push on a certain stock and then they dump it. Let's go answer these questions before they get off the page. Somebody just sold their Riot at 44. Should I buy it back before after hours ends? Sherry.
I mean, it depends what your cost basis was. If you took profits at 44, in my video this morning, basically that's what I called out. I was hoping it would get back to like $43.80. And that was not my price target for the day. It got back there today. So anybody who took profits on that, I don't blame you. If it runs up again on Monday, oh well. You made a lot of money on Riot today. This was a great day for Riot. My medium term and short and long term price target for Riot is much higher, but it could cool off a little bit. I mean, it's been on fire lately.
Should I sell it? Hang on a second, guys. And one of the things that
Thanks, Miguel.
As we start to mature a little bit in this market, in Bitcoin mining, I was talking to Tom, and nice, $2,000. That ain't too bad.
Very nice.
So we were starting to talk about options. We're gonna actually open up the Discord. One of the things we're gonna start doing with the Discord is on Sunday night. I can say this, right, Tom?
Yeah.
Okay. On Sunday night, we're gonna do options for the week, and what we're trying to do is just do, like, different people have different aggressiveness levels on trading stocks, right, or trading options. And what we're going to do is try to be very, I wouldn't say specific, but we're going to give different options. Like, if you're a risk taker, you should do this. If you are conservative, you should do this. If you kind of want a little, but not too high, too much risk, you can do this. So kind of like a good risk, a bad risk, or not a good risk, a bad risk.
Everybody has a different risk tolerance. So we're going to give just different options plays based on what you guys all know. When you signed up for your broker, you filled out that little questionnaire. Are you in this to high growth, and they figure out your risk profile, and everybody has a different level of comfort. Some options tradings can be extremely profitable, but they are super high risk. So we'll talk about those, but with understanding that, we don't recommend most people do those. And if you do, I do those a lot, but I will tell you, I do with a tiny amount of money for fun.
How much aggressive was the guy called? You made 27,000 on Bitfarms? I love Bitfarms. Hey, thanks, Michael.
Oh, Michael V, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Have a great weekend.
Should I tell how many shares I hold of Bitfarm?
You can if you want.
No, let's just say that they have to get permission from me before they do anything major. No, I'm joking. I love Bitfarms, but is it a golden egg, or are we at the top of Bitfarms?
We are.
This is not financial advice. Go.
We are nowhere near the top of Bitfarms. Now, what I will say is Bitfarms is reporting earnings Monday after hours. So, if anybody has any super short-term option type positions, those to me would be a huge risk because you never know what happens on earnings day. What people take away from earnings always baffles me. You might as well roll the dice. I've seen the greatest earning reports of all time get sold off huge. But those things correct themselves fairly quickly. But if you're holding on to short-term options, you could be in trouble. But no, my Bitfarms is just getting going. People have no clue where Bitfarms is going.
I have a question. Are they done with? I know, just because will they talk about their shelf offering on Monday? You think?
Well, they will have to disclose. They're going to file their 10Q, and they're going to have to disclose how many shares they issued through September 30th. Now, that's actually good news because if you guys remember, September 29th was the beginning of kind of this Bitcoin bull run, and it was the beginning of when Bitfarms stock price started to rise. So what I would be looking to hope is that through September 30th, they did not use a lot of this shelf offering. Right? If they only used maybe 20 or 25% of this shelf offering, then, because if they were using it up until then, they were selling their shares for $4 or $5 a share. I would much rather that they have saved this and they go sell them now at $8, $9, $10, $11, $12 a share. That is so much more beneficial for the company and the stockholders. So that's one of the things I'm looking for. And you don't know what people's expectations are. So that's why it's hard to judge how a stock is going to react on earnings days. There's a lot of, they could have the best earnings ever, but, maybe they'll say, oh, we did 80% of our shelf offering and only got this much money for it and have a negative reaction. So I'm not expecting that. I expect they used very little of that. I have no inside information on that whatsoever. I just know that if that was my company, there's no way I would use my shelf offering at $5 a share.
Hey, Tom, just Tom used to be a CPA. That was his previous life before he became YouTube famous. And one of the things that he has taught me to do is, instead of, for example, Sherry, she said she made 27 on Riot, which is amazing, by the way. It's good to hear.
Yeah, awesome. Congratulations.
But is there a way that you could have taken and bought puts or something like that, or reduce your risk and maybe spend a few $1,000s and not sold that and wait until next year?
Well, that's always the balance because, you're obviously it becomes a taxable event, but the problem in the Bitcoin, yes, is the answer to that. Okay. It gets a little bit more complicated with the Bitcoin miners because the options have such massive premiums. The Bitcoin miner options are among the top 10 premium in the entire stock market. So ordinarily, you could buy yourself, on AT&T or something, you could buy yourself some puts as protection for almost nothing, basically for free. On Bitfarms and Bitfarms is even tougher because they sell their options in increments of $2.50. So, by the time you're down to the $5 options, why bother? I guess you've avoided a total catastrophe by having $5. And by the way, those were 3 cents. So those are free.
They're free. Free money. And what's funny is somebody told me to buy the $7.50 Bitfarms for $11.19, and they were for 19 cents, 8 cents. And I'm like, Tom, you're out of your mind. You're never gonna make it. There's no way they're gonna get there. And by the way, we're there, and we still got a week to go. And Tom loaded. He backed up the bus and loaded it up. Hey, I saw somebody say something about BTBT. What are you thinking?
On BTBT, first I want to answer. Sherry asked, "What's a CPA?" which is a good question, and Depending where you are in the world, they're called different things. In the United States, that's a certified public accountant. That is how I started my career. I did that for several years. I did not keep my certification active. So, I am not a CPA right now. I was a practicing CPA for many years. I don't do that anymore. But that's basically, we go in and audit, and I worked for one of the international firms. So we would go in and audit very large companies. So I got an opportunity to take a look at a lot of different things. It was a great experience.
And get to see the funny money.
I could tell stories, except I'm not allowed to.
Okay, tell me BTBT before I go into the next thing real quick. What are you thinking? I know Tom always says he tries to stay away from BTBT.
My problem remains with BTBT. Their transparency is not good. I don't know. They have a very complicated formula, much different than a lot of the other Bitcoin miners. They do a lot of profit sharing. For instance, they have 2 exahash worth of machines that they have a deal with DigiHost with. That their DigiHost is hosting them and sharing in the profits. So when you look at Bit Digital and you go, oh, they have 3 or 4 exahash, it's not necessarily apples to apples. Because when Bitfarms has exahash, they're making all that money. They're 80-85% gross profit. When Bit Digital does, it's hard to say. And they don't put out a monthly operations update. And they have had, I think they're getting a lot healthier. A year ago, everybody assumed this company was not even real. So, there was a huge opportunity at that point. But right now, I feel like they're in a real neutral zone. Having said that, as Bitcoin runs up, they're probably going to run up to $20. I don't know. I don't know that, but if I had to guess, I just don't have strong conviction in it. And there's so many other ones that I have super strong conviction in that I'd rather stay in those.
And Sherry seems to be our biggest talker today, by the way. Hey, this is an interesting one. She's writing down how she made 170 last year and lost 50. And she did that on calls. Can you explain? So the whole reason Tom and I are doing this is I started a website called Can You Do Any Better? And my theory was that we need somebody that can actually, we're not a pump and dump. We're not going to sit here and push something and then pull the, that's just not what we're into. So what we're trying to do is give you back to the basics of solid investing. So, you good? You can hear me?
Yeah, that's a great question, Sherry. And George and I have talked about this at length. We are going to put a series of videos together that are more explainer type videos. They're not going to be a big hit on YouTube, but they're going to be instructional and informational. And options is a big one. There's so many different things that you can do with options. And if you don't know what you're doing, it's very easy to lose money. Unfortunately, a lot of people have your story. Sounds like you did great in the market, but not so great in calls.
So let me finish what I was going to tell you, because I actually just did this today. Again, I did this with Tom's assistance, not advice. And this is not financial advice. And what we did was we went to Bitfarm for an example. This is real numbers, real life. And we sold 750s, and then we bought protection. So we did a put at 750, and then we did another put on 5s. And I know this is hard to explain without seeing it on TV, but basically it ended up being a $3,800 net profit. Okay.
Right. But we did a put spread.
Go ahead. You can finish.
We did a put spread, and there's different ways that you can do that, but we sold the 750s and bought the $5. And this is too quick, and these are the kind of things we would like to spend a half an hour talking about. But basically that allowed $3,000 or $4,000 of profit in the middle based on how many we did. So, there was 40 cents difference in price between those two, and we were confident as long as Bitfarms stays above $7.50, if you sold the 750s, you get to keep that money. So now, if Bitfarms crashes and goes to $6, you have a liability of the difference between the $7.50 that you sold and the $6 that it goes down to. So then you lose $1.50. Now you got paid 40 cents to do that, so you lose $1.10. So I know that's quick, and I'll talk more about that in some other longer videos and explain that, because there's a lot of great strategies that you can make that while you're holding your stocks and making a lot of money, you can just make extra money with these options. But you got to be careful.
Right. So if you've already booked out profits, for an example, on something, and you've so one of the things we'll do is we keep a percentage of what we want to be in Bitfarm, what we want to be in BTBT, what we want to be in Cleanspark, and we actually balance that out on a weekly basis so that when we have all this profit, then we take and we'll buy more of that company just to kind of keep this into more of a understanding of where we're supposed to be percentage wise. And what's crazy is that how well it works. And it's just amazing that, I mean, I know in July and August, it was rough. I'm not going to lie. It was really rough. But, once we got, to October, it started to become a lot more fun. Wouldn't you say, Tom?
Yeah, absolutely. And
okay.
yeah, Ryan, it's frustrating that Bitfarms has such a widespread on their strikes, and they only have monthlies, and they don't even have any Januaries. So I don't know what they're doing. Meanwhile, HUT has weeklies. So that's just another example of HUT executing in a way that, their HUT is so much better at the non-Bitcoin mining part of the business than Bitfarms is. I hold a lot of Bitfarms. I'm a big believer in what they do with their business. They're just not very good at telling people what they do, and so we'll see. Their earnings call is Monday after the bell, so we're going to find out a lot. I'll tell you this. HUT 8 had a very big earnings, and Bitfarms mined a lot more than HUT 8 did.
I'm finally reading some of the comments. I'm sorry. Ryan always makes me laugh. What's your thoughts on Marathon? We had an unbelievable day today on Marathon. Where you feeling comfortable with them?
Marathon had an unbelievable day. I think they got back to their all-time high today. I mean, they destroyed their old highs. So everybody hit highs back earlier in the year in February and March and April, and most people have not gotten back to those highs, but HUT 8 and Marathon even more so. Marathon just blew through their high. Like, they've left it in the dust. I think it was 57, and they got up. I think they might have got up to like 80. I'll have to check the chart. Well, I can check the chart.
And that's been a double for, just so you guys know, from when Tom told us to buy it. It's been a double.
Well, we've had that kind of run. Yeah, I mean, Today this thing got up to $76. It was up to $83 a few days ago. So yeah, I mean, this is at a $7.5 billion market cap. And the thing is, that is the biggest market cap of all the miners by far, but I do not think it's overpriced. If you compare this to other companies outside of this industry, I still think this is underpriced. So that's why I have so much conviction in a lot of these other miners. I mean, there's miners that have 1/5 or 1/8 the market cap of this. And even at $7.5 billion, I think by no means is Marathon overpriced. As long as they execute and do what they say they're going to do. Because I will tell you, that is not justified by their current operations. That is justified by the purchase orders and plans they have in place, an exahash per second rate that they will have over the next 12 to 14 months. If they do that like they're saying, then they're worth every penny of this and more. But if. So that's the risk.
If. So Tom, I mean, everybody's like nervous about future of the stock market. I mean, I know it's been in the hot topic for everybody. Any thoughts real quick on that before we get into more questions?
The stock market overall? Yeah,
the health of it. Yep.
The stock market is trading very high right now. At all the, they pulled. It felt like a horrible week. We pulled back we had 2 days where we pulled off of our all-time highs. And, now today was a good day. So everything is still right near its absolute all-time high. We're trading at PEs that are way past normal. And the more concerning thing to me is the top 10 stocks are trading at huge PEs. And those companies are so gigantic. For Amazon, I'm bringing it up.
Okay. Hey, thanks, Dark Aegis, I guess, for your information. We're going to be doing, please join the Discord, because on Sundays, and I'm hoping we'll do it this Sunday, we're going to do an option. The first one's going to be free. This was going to be a free one, but then starting going forward, we want to do an investment club. And what we're trying to do is just do conservative numbers. Nothing, again, you take the risk you want to take when you do this. I mean, if you guys want to risk it all, don't yell at us if you lose it all, okay? Because remember, this is not financial advice. Tom's just doing the due diligence on these things to limit our exposure, so that if we decide to, because like he gets mad at me, I got mad at him right in the beginning because I started doing options on Apple, and I mean it just made sense to me, right? And I got destroyed. I lost, I mean, like 20-some thousand the first day. I was pissed, but you know what? That's how you learn the lessons.
I think that's a part of the bottom line. Some of this is just, you got it, trial and error. You learn the hard way. I am trying. That is what I'm trying to do with my videos. If you notice, I try to go a little deeper in my videos and explain what I don't just say, oh, here's 3 stocks, buy them. I try to give you a stock and tell you exactly what I looked at to buy it, so that you guys can go out and practice doing this. Some of you already have my level of skill or more, but a lot of you are newer investors. So, I'm just trying to share how I do this.
And you share it well, Tom.
Well, thank you.
So, real quick, do you guys hold any BTC or only miners? I do hold some BTC.
I hold no Bitcoin. All of my exposure to Bitcoin is through the Bitcoin miners. And my reason for that is I really believe in the next few years, it is going to be a highly leveraged play on Bitcoin. In other words, if Bitcoin goes up, $1, I think that the miners are going to go up $2 or $3. So over the course of time, it does not play out that way every single day. And there's sometimes where you can go weeks or months and the miners lag behind. So it can get very frustrating. But I believe if you do this long term, they are a play. At some point, maybe it'll be prudent where we get to a point to convert some of my mining stock and hold some Bitcoin, because ultimately, long term, if Bitcoin's going to be $500,000 or $1 million or one of those things, even if that takes 10 or 20 years, it's probably a smart idea to hold some Bitcoin.
I hold Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, VeChain. What else do I have? I played with Doge. I had what's that other one? Oh, Shiba. I had a lot of fun with Shiba. We took off with Shiba. But that was a pump and dump. Everybody should have known that was a pump and dump. I mean, it had pump and dump on the front of its coin. Pump and dump. I mean, that's what dogs do, guys. Don't be upset. They dump.
Dog coins are, yeah.
Yeah, they're dumpers.
Hey, listen, a lot of people make big money in those. I've stayed away from all of that. I spend so much time researching the miners that I can't put enough time in on the altcoins. And, I get a million recommendations, but it's like, I don't know how to vet all those and figure out which ones are good. Every single person has the same level of conviction that their coin's going to the moon. So it's hard to cipher through them.
So, by the way, I forgot to tell, we're not the best at talking. We want to get all this information out, but we always forget to promote ourselves, which is, if anybody wants Tom to do a deep dive into a stock, today is the day to pick it, but you have to do it in a super chat. So, I mean, you could get it for $2, $1, $3, but whoever pays the highest will do a deep dive into that specific company. It's a company, specifically one company. So whatever that is.
A publicly traded company that's not a pharmaceutical.
Yeah, no pharmaceutical companies. So let's
That's just
talk about,
too much due diligence.
since we'll get back on Bitcoin here in a second, miners. What about Beam?
So Beam reported earnings, and yeah, I see Alex asked recap of Beam. I'll probably do another video. You know, those are my least popular videos, but I'm doing them anyway because I really feel strongly about Beam, and I was very happy with their earnings report. So I'll do a video and recap their earnings report. It's pretty much, I thought it was right exactly what I was expecting. So there was nothing jaw-dropping in there that was new, that was surprising, but they're right on target. They're doing exactly what I thought they're doing. Their cash position is rock solid. I mean, this company isn't going anywhere, and I'm very happy with everything they're doing. So I will be doing another Beam video, but my short answer is I liked their earnings. I thought they were positive.
I'm going to tell you my opinion on Beam, not that you asked me, but I'm going to give it to you anyways. Since Tom's the guru. Again, I always use Tom's advice, but I don't, say, Tom, should I buy this? Should I buy that? He lets me make those decisions. So what I've been doing with Beam is kind of interesting because to me, it tracks exactly this way. It goes from 27 to 32, 20, and it did kind of break out of that today, but I noticed that it broke out of that this week, and now it's going back down. So every single week for what did you say, the last 4 or 5 weeks?
Yeah.
We've made a profit flipping that, buying on Monday, selling on Friday, or buying on Monday, selling on Wednesday.
It's bouncing up and down inside of a range, and it bounced way up and then all the way back down this week. So
Hive, our first one, Corey. Thank you.
Corey, so all right, so are you asking for Hive?
Yeah, Hive. This is a random. Can you do a deep dive on
FUV? Okay. Yep, I know those guys.
I don't even know what FUV is. That's why.
But this is funny. I'm going to pull them up because we just looked at Rivian, who's got $127 billion market cap. Wait till you see what FUV's is.
Is it going to be lower?
This is my problem with this whole industry. 430 million.
Wow, are you kidding me?
So you tell me,
have they sold a car?
Why is Rivian 300 times more valuable than Arcimoto? It makes no sense to me at all, and I would be glad to do a video on that. I like these guys. I don't own them. I own a few other ones, and I'll tell you which ones, and everybody hates the ones that I own, but I'm sticking with them. I think Arrow and Solo are good companies. It's taken them a while to get where they're going, and Arrow has been beaten down to a price that's, I mean, they might as well be just passing them out for free. So it's crazy. But these guys, yeah, I like these guys.
Didn't you just do a video on Hive?
I did a video on Hive, but
hey, they want another one, right?
You can listen.
The public wins.
Move fast, so
Tesla dip. Elon, good time to buy the dip? I know it's Tesla.
Are you asking me if it's a good time to buy the dip?
No, I'm not. Pedro Palace.
If history is any indication, buying the dip on Tesla has been a good move for the last several years. So, that's what I'll say. I have personal feelings on the market cap of Tesla, and again, I'm just a numbers guy, so I have run the numbers, and there's a lot of emotional arguments about Tesla. There's a lot of potential game-changing, innovative technology surrounding them. And I don't know if those things play out. Maybe this is a game changer. But I don't like to trade on stocks where I hope that they invent stuff that they say they're going to invent. And that is not a hit on Tesla. They're not joking around. They're working on everything they're talking about. But it's like, I'll give you another example. There's a company called QuantumScape. they're making a battery, and they're worth, their market cap is billions and billions of dollars. They're years away from even having a working prototype of that battery. So to me, yes, are they serious? Are they looking to make that? And they probably will figure it out, but I don't like to trade so early stage that the product doesn't even exist yet. Right? There's been a lot of talk lately about this, automated self-driving stuff. They're a lot further away from that than people were talking about.
Let's get to all these. So M. Sailing, he's in the renewable energy industry, and that's why he doesn't like Beam. Well, I'm not saying he doesn't like Beam, but he's just saying that there's no real competitive advantage because all this is a charging. It's basically a solar tower, right, with a charging.
They are not gonna M-Sailing. I mean, we might be on the same page as this. I don't think they're competition for things like ChargePoint or Blink. They're not going to replace those. They do something totally different. I think they just supplement, and I think they're going to get massive amounts purchased by government, city, state, and federal level, and they're more of a, hey, I drove to work, I'm parked in the parking lot, and they can charge, I think, 9 cars at the same time or something like that. But they have a small charge. That is not the electric vehicle charging infrastructure that's going to convert us to electric vehicles. There is no doubt. But I do think they have a little niche spot where they're going to get something done. Canon. All right. I've never done a video on Canon.
You know what's so funny? Don't you guys find it interesting that he knows the stock?
Oh, thank you so much, Ryan.
He knows that. I was like, who's Canon? Oh, yeah, we won't turn this channel into a marketing channel. Again, I don't know if you heard it earlier, but the whole reason for this channel is so that we can all make money and don't get trapped into these. I'm going to call them meme stocks. How about that? Is that okay? We'll call them meme stocks.
Listen, the stock market is a serious place, and the amount of misinformation is mind-boggling. So I certainly don't know everything, but I try to. The things that I do trade in, I try to get as thorough of an understanding as I possibly can.
Oh, I'm George, by the way. That's Tom. It says, hello, Tom, and I go by ... though. I do like ...
Corey, thanks.
So who is Canon? What is it?
Here, they're in the industry, but they do something a little different.
Listen to this, Tom. Your videos on CleanSpark, IIIT Bitfarms have changed my life, and I'm extremely excited to see what you put out in the future. And learning options cost me $30K. I watched them go to zero. Ooh, yeah,
that's another options nightmare story. I know they're. I'll be honest. I mean, that's how I got into options. It was a long time ago, but I lost. I lost before I won. I think that's everybody. So, there's no.
And Corey, I noticed you just started typing. What we're gonna do is on Sunday nights. This Sunday, it's gonna be free. I think we're gonna do it on Facebook. We're gonna do it on YouTube. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick like a few different opportunities to do spreads, and Tom will explain it better than I can ever explain. What time are we gonna do it on Sunday? Like late, right?
I think Sunday, sometime in the evening, maybe 7:30. That's one of the things. I put a poll out this week to see when you guys wanted videos, and it seemed like the evening was a better time for everybody.
So 7:30 on Sunday. And again, what we're trying to do here is limit the risk and make maximum return. Again, not financial advice. This is just more information for you guys to develop your skills better. Sorry. Who's Canon?
Canon. Give me just 1 second. So, all right, I pulled Canon up. So they're on the hardware side of the Bitcoin mining world. Integrating IC products for Bitcoin mining and related companies, primarily in the People's Republic of China. So the thing is, from what I can tell, all of these machines are made, and parts are made in the People's Republic of China. So it's hard to, I can't find one that's not. Corey, thank you very much. I appreciate it. So these guys are on the other side, and I always wonder, well, I'll save it for the video. Oh, thank you, Corey. I really appreciate it. I'm so glad our videos have helped you. That is what we are trying to do. So you guys don't know how happy it makes me every time somebody leaves me a comment and lets me know that.
Dude, that just, doesn't it make you feel good?
And
that was another thing, and I'm sorry to cut you off, Tom, but another thing that we're trying to do is we're putting, you know, look at the world's kind of screwy right now. Let's be honest. It's just not what it used to be. And we're trying to put some goodness back into the world. And, you know, as much as just like everybody's like, oh, I can't do anything. Hold the door for a person as you leave a store. Watch what it does. Sorry.
Hold the door, make somebody smile, do the little things. We're trying. I know my videos are dry, so nobody's smiling and laughing too much at what I'm doing, but
you want to hear a sad story real quick since we're being positive?
Go ahead.
Somebody just wrote me, hey, my sister's husband invested $50,000 in Bitcoin 2 years ago and can't find any information of where his money is and never got any information on how to access his wallet. Can you advise him what to do? Do you know how much money that is, guys? If he invested $50,000 in Bitcoin two years ago, I mean, what are we talking?
Oh, then he could have bought it at $3,000 or
less.
So
oh my God. Please, oh geez, the story gets worse. Now he says he didn't invest in coin. He invested in another coin in a
Wim,
crash.
is it? WIM? Thank you. I appreciate it.
Have you ever heard of it? Oh, no, it wasn't Bitcoin. It was another coin.
Oh.
Probably Ethereum. No, I don't know. I have a sad story about the time I got.
Thanks, Ryan. We'll save that one for the Discord.
you sucked me in too. Listen, you know what? That's a great. You know what? We actually started this channel the day after this gentleman told us this. I have to tell you a story. We're hanging out with. Was it your nephew?
Yeah. I just want to say thanks again, Corey. Thank you so much. I'm glad. I really appreciate it.
So listen to this. AMC. We're having a conversation with somebody about AMC, and it's a kid. How old is he? 20, 19, 20, 21?
Oh no, he was in his he was
24?
in his low to mid 20s.
Okay, and we're talking about AMC, and he's like, dude, I'm down for the cause. And Tom rips out his phone, and he starts figuring out the calculator of how many people have to buy the stock in order for it to take off and be another, like, GameStop. Because, guys, these guys are going to do everything they can so we don't have a short squeeze on them. So, he thought it was going to $2,000. Or 1,000. What did he say, 1,000?
100,000.
100. Yeah, he said it's going to 100,000. So, FYI.
And this is the difference between theory and reality. You know, if you want to do a lecture in a college classroom about how theoretically AMC could get to $100,000, I could do that. I could explain how that could theoretically happen for a moment in time. But it's not going to happen. So there's no reason. I can theorize about a lot of things, but I just stick with reality. I can tell you this. I can say with the greatest of confidence, AMC is not going to $100,000. Just like Shiba is not going to $1. There's just
or a penny. It's not going to a penny.
The chances of it getting to a penny are astronomical. Astronomical. Right. They're not even worth talking about. And it's hard to say, and I don't like to say those things, and I don't make videos on those things because nobody wants to hear it, and you're just raining on everybody's parade, and then you get nothing but hate when you say that. But so what I try to do is just stay away from them and that's why I make videos about Beam. Nobody wants to see it, but Beam is the perfect setup for a short. Beam will short squeeze, in my opinion. And if it doesn't short squeeze, it's still going to go up just because of the dynamic of the amount of shorted in the stock and the amount of shares in the float. So, whether it's a good company or a bad company or it makes money in the long run and wins, I don't know the answer to those things, but...
Yes, this Discord is real. Hey, if you want to post pictures, go to the Discord, scroll back up, and cut and paste that Discord and come on in. Remember, we're going to go, it looks like we're doing 7:30 on Sunday to do an introduction to how options work and to do our first spread. What do you call it? Put spread?
What you and I did this week was a put spread.
Oh, put spread. Wow. Put spread. Yes, it's real. Who's BWEN? Do you know who that is, Tom? And guys, please do me a favor and like the video and share it. And thanks for all the comments. It really helps keep the show lively. And
I don't know BWEN. No, I do not.
Let's see it. Pull it up. BWEN. And here's the other thing, guys, that we're going to do. I got somebody working on it right now. Is we're going to the Bitcoin miners that are less than 100,000. I mean, it was 100 million. So we're going to have a whole bunch of different, and that's probably just going to be on the Discord. So FYI, that will be coming out probably another week.
Yeah, I don't do any of my YouTube videos on the super micro Bitcoin miners, but we look at them a lot. So, and there's a lot of them to look at, and I think some of them have a lot of potential, but it's harder and harder to, the smaller they get, the harder it is to verify their information, and a lot of them are over the counter, so their reporting requirements are so much less. So DMG, yes, DMG blockchain. They had a run this week, and today they pulled back a little, I think, but they went off. That was one of George's favorite stocks for a little while. They got some big stuff coming up at the end of the year, and I have not done a video on DMG because they're small, but they're probably just on the brink. I bet they're over 100 million now. I'm gonna check, but they're definitely over 100 million.
And you know what? Sherry brings
they're
up
$188 million now.
Annie, can't open Discord.
Thank you, Alex. BTCM. Yep, that's...
So Annie is one of those companies. Tom did a deep dive into it and then kind of went away from it. He has to get back into it, but real quick, what's your opinion on Annie?
Well, I'm changing my mind on Annie. I'm slowly changing my mind. I'm not a buyer, but I'm not terrified for their investors anymore. There was a point where it looked like that was going to be a disaster. And I don't think it's going to be now. They're doing so. Oh, this is Sherry. Thanks again, Sherry. Thanks for your input in today's session. They're mining. So Any, also known as Sphere 3D, also known as, they're merging with Griffin. So Griffin is just going to become a part of Any. The stock ticker is going to change. Is not going to change. It's going to remain Any, and they will basically become a Bitcoin mining company. So, Griffin's a real Bitcoin mining company, and they've got good things going on. It's just that there was one point in time where it was out of... There's going to be a massive dilution when this merger occurs. Right? I think it's close to 3/4 of the shares of stock will be new shares of stock. So a lot of people don't calculate that when they're looking at it, and they look at market cap and go, wow, it's only this and we're doing all this. But the thing is, the market cap's going to change dramatically when they quadruple the number of shares that are outstanding. Now, in Any's case, it's starting to look like it's lining up all right. This is all this is all post-traumatic stress from a company called Gree. So that was the old support.com, and they did a merger and became Gree, and all of their investors got totally wiped out. And that just happened a few months ago. So I had done a video on that, kind of warning that this stock's going to go down 80 or 90% fast. And unfortunately, you know, I'm a small channel.
Was the next day it happened. The next day. But more specifically on any, I think, Tom, that the current any is only going to own 30% of the new any, correct? Isn't it something like that?
The current shareholders will own, I think it's 23% of the total outstanding shares of stock. Yeah, I'm not knocking any at all. There was a time where the math was bad on them, and it's gotten better. And they had a huge announcement about the number of machines that they bought. And that changed the math a lot. And I was worried their stock was going to run up to $10 or more pre-merger. So, you know, without the purchase of all those machines, and if their stock had run up to $10, I was worried that they were going to get beat up. But I think they're on the right track. So I don't own them, but I'm not worried about them anymore.
Just so you know, Tom, once you mention something about Tesla, you got a thumbs down. I just want you to know that.
My favorite company of all time? What?
You know, guys, is again, our whole goal is to make money. That's the goal, is to, I always call, you know, who is it? Mr. Wonderful always says that, you know, you have money, look at soldiers as you send them out to capture more soldiers to bring back to work for you. And that's how I try to look at it. Sorry. So eBang.
eBang's another hardware play. You want to look at eBang?
Yeah. eBay. Guys, let me know if you've getting into the Discord too. If anybody got in.
So, again, this is in the People's Republic of China, but like I said, I can't find one that's not. So.
Nice. We got 20, by the way, Tom. 20 people now in Discord, guys.
Oh, awesome. Well, thanks everybody for joining. We'll try to do a good job. I'm not that versed in Discord yet, but I'll work on it. And we got some good plans for that. So yeah, I mean, this is the other side. This is the what do they call it? The picks and axes. You know, instead of buying the miners, buy the guys who sell all the mining equipment. So I'm surprised these companies all haven't done better, and I'm surprised they all didn't decide they would just keep them. There is one company that did do that. They're basically Bitfury, right? I think is it Bitfury? One of the companies. Now I got to remember who they are. Cypher. Right? Cypher.
Yep, Cypher. Yep.
Cypher's their majority shareholder, and when I say majority, like 80%, is a company that makes Bitcoin mining machines. So I was expecting all these guys to get into that type of a situation, right? Because that's
why would you sell
vertical integration. That, I mean, why? Yeah, I mean, look at these guys. These poor guys are at $386 million, and the companies who uses their machines are minting money.
It is kind of weird when you think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is weird.
You know, again, without getting political, there's a discount on Chinese stocks. That's just the way it is. There's an additional level of risk there. So, and China has had real mixed feelings about Bitcoin. So, as you guys all know, or maybe they're not even mixed feelings.
They don't like any crypto.
Yeah.
No crypto. They said no crypto. Thumbs down. So, what else do we have to talk about? I think we got through almost everything. No one really talked about Plan B. So I think Plan B is still in play, don't you, Tom?
98,000?
Question
All right,
mark?
so let's just take 1 minute right now, and if you guys want to, you can write in the comments. Plan B thinks Bitcoin's going to 98,000 in November. So you can just write yes or no. Let's do a quickie poll and see who's a believer. Are we still on board with Plan B, or do we think that's overshooting it?
I'm going with a yes, personally.
98,000 by the end of November. Today
I'm
is
going with a
November
yes.
12th.
Going with yes.
Did you put your yes in the...
No, I did not put it
Well,
in
then
there.
you haven't voted.
No, not a chance. No, not a chance. So we got 1 yes and 2 no's. 80K max, so that's a third no. No. Okay,
I'll let you
come
know
on.
what I think in a minute after people answer.
Oh, he says that he thinks eBank's going into their own mining. I'll put him on the list of people to call. The other thing we're doing is we're actually forming direct relationships with every single miner that's over $100 million. So
Yes,
just so you
Juan,
guys
you're
know.
right. Sorry.
Yes, I got 2 yes with 3 yes. Come on, good. Come on, yes. So we're 60-40 right now. No, that
No, the other Plan B ran G.
better chance of getting. Yes, yeah. Oh, now we're back to 50-50 again. 80 sounds right. 50-50-ish. We're right down the middle.
It's real close.
Yeah, it is.
Closer than I thought. So
Oh.
I said in last Friday's live stream that I do not believe that we are going to get to $98,000 in November. I think that that's unrealistic. I would love that to be correct. I know he was basically right in August, September, and October. So the hope was, November and December were the big ones. I think 98,000 and 135,000. So, I would love nothing more than for that to be dead on accurate, but I don't think that's what's going to happen. And I said last week, my price target is somewhere around $75,000 or $80,000 for November. So I think we're going to have a great November. And honestly, aren't we all going to be happy at Bitcoin's $80,000 at the end of November? Everybody except George?
No. No. The only reason why I think it could happen is one reason. More people have moved Bitcoin off of exchanges again this month. This has been insane. And we got new money coming in all over the place. I think Plan B is still in the play.
We just got another yes for Plan B.
Yeah, we got a whole bunch of no's. I think it's like a 60-40.
I'm not, by the end of the last week's live feed, people thought I was a Plan B hater, and that's not my point. I think he's been on point and been very healthy for the crypto community. I just feel like he overshot November, so I gotta say it I gotta call it like I see it.
So what are you calling next month then? Since Plan B, let's hear Plan C.
What, December?
Yeah, what do you think December's gonna do?
Yeah, and I think we could push 100 by December. I'm really shooting for 100,000 at the end of the year, so it's not like our numbers are radically different. He's thinking 135,000, and I'm thinking 100.
When do you see the pullback happening do you think we're going to see a pullback next year? Cut in half in January or February?
No.
Really?
I do not. In my opinion, there is no more crypto winter. That doesn't mean there's no more pullbacks or corrections. But they're going to be a little easier to stomach. I will be very surprised if we have an 80% pullback. That just doesn't, based on the supply right now, there's an ever dwindling supply, and the other thing that has changed dramatically is now all the Bitcoin mining is happening, not all of it, but a massive shift has occurred from elsewhere in the world to North America, and specifically, the United States and Canada. And all of those companies are holding basically every single Bitcoin that they mine. So that is putting a pressure on supply beyond belief. So if there's no new Bitcoin coming onto the market and institutions are coming in, buying Bitcoin and taking it out of the right, institutions, retirement funds, they're not day traders. If they buy a Bitcoin, that's a buy and hold. And then forget about when an ETF comes out. That's going to allow people to pump money into Bitcoin like crazy. So there's just too many things. And that doesn't mean there won't be corrections, because there's always, people get greedy and 50x leverage themselves into Bitcoin, and it'll get overrun and pull back. So, all that normal healthy stuff is going to happen. But I don't think crypto winter exists anymore for Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Well, here's the other thing too, is that, with your ETF, we had an ETF fake out. And I mean, are they going to do an ETF? Is it ever coming out?
There's an ETF, and I didn't look at it today, but they only have a few days left to shut it down, which I think they're going to. I can't remember what the day was, but it's coming right up. There's a real ETF that is due in a few days. But what usually happens is at the last minute, they say, no, we're not going to let that go through. So
well, then that's when I changed my opinion. See, I knew that ETF was coming. I might change my opinion then. I'm assuming that an ETF is getting approved before the end of this month. If that happens, I'm still seeing 98. And that's what I was talking to Plan B. He said the same thing.
You were talking to him? Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I might change my mind if a true
ETF.
spot Bitcoin ETF were to be traded in the United States, then that would change my mind about what could happen, because that would be explosive, in my opinion. But I don't think I think there will be one ultimately, but they're pushing that off as far as they possibly can. So my guess is, and I'm just guessing. My guess is they're going to hold off on that for.
I told Tom to do it in the poll format in the comments, but Tom told me no. Ideomics, always dropping, but has had a lot of companies that are bringing wireless EV chargers, e-chargers, and other EV companies in a low market cap.
I gotta look at. I'll be honest. I haven't looked at them in about a year. We held them about a year ago, and got a nice little run up. I sold them, and I really have not looked back to look at what they're doing. So I gotta bring myself. I'm not up to speed on Ideonomics right now.
We're global, guys. And then somebody else was from UK. TPG. I still love the name, The Creator Show.
Oh, Quinn is saying it was disapproved already, so that's it.
Okay.
That's it for the ETF.
I changed.
Thank you, Quinn.
Plan B. I'm sorry, I don't think it's going to happen then. How did it get disapproved again?
Rand G is also saying the SEC turned down.
You guys want to know how messed up I am? I'm a big XRP believer. Just so you know, I'm big into XRP.
JJT, I didn't think you were going to be here. I thought I read something that you were.
Okay.
The rumor was you weren't going to be here, so welcome.
The rumor was, it wasn't true. Okay, so I'll make sure we got through everything before we call it. Talk about options. Don't forget Sunday 7:30, I guess we're calling for the show. And we're going to go over options, and Tom's going to have like 3 different things. I meant to tell you this, and this is the one thing. Tom doesn't like to speak highly of himself, so I speak highly of him for him, okay? When he does a video, he spends about 6 to 8 hours going through like the actual financial of these stocks. So he'll go deep dive into these stocks. So, when he talks, he wants to know, and for him, he can remember all the numbers and all the different companies of kind of what's going on. So I just wanted to let you know, he doesn't just like go and, do 5 minutes worth of research and then go and, that's probably what I would do. But he actually goes, and he has one of those problems where he can't sleep at night. So he'd rather go and research a stock. I forgot to tell you I have to say this about Tether. I'm sorry. I'm worried about Tether. Not that anybody, means anything to anybody here right now, but Tether is a stable coin that I don't know how stable it is. And yeah, it's just, I don't think it's stable. We need to hold 63. Looks like we're going to do it. Plan B is wrong. Hut 8, who has the biggest upsides on stocks on Bitcoin? Who is the best? If you were to spend money today, where would you go and what company would you do?
Well, if it was yesterday, I would have said Riot, but now they just ran up another 11.79%. So, and I still think they have a long way to go. So I still think that I didn't get rid of my Riot. I'm not putting any more money into them right now. Man, that's a really tough question. Probably if I was to buy something, I'd buy more Bitfarm. But if you guys have watched the channel, you'll know that I buy Bitfarm like I got a problem. All I do is buy Bitfarm. So
he made me buy more Bitfarm the other day. He's like, no, you need to do. By the way, I forgot about something else. I have twice as many as I told you, by the way. So
the other thing that I'm gonna be doing a deep dive on and do a video on, the biggest lagger on this whole list by far is Argo blockchain. They did a little bit of catching up this week, but so I gotta dig deeper. Again, they're harder to find information out on, but Mr. Bro is saying Hive. Yeah, Hive, definitely.
And CleanSpark. I mean, most of these, this is what Tom told me earlier, and that is most of these companies are still going to do a double. Not financial advice. Conservatively.
Yeah, that's right. Not financial advice, but most of my price targets are even more than that. First of all, the first thing is almost all these companies already just did a double in the last 40 days. But I think they got one or two more left in them, the right ones. I don't know enough about Argo yet. They're starting to release more information. They mined 165 Bitcoin last month, so that is not a lot. Versus their peers. So I need to understand what else they're doing and what their plans are on purchasing. Like, for instance, Bitfarms mined, I think, 343 or 341 Bitcoin. So that's double what Argo mined. So having said that, with Bitfarms run up, their market cap is double. So, maybe Argo is still priced to where they could have a great run up. CleanSpark, I'm all in on. So I can't remember who said CleanSpark, but yeah, I'm all in on CleanSpark. M selling. Yep, I got you. I'm with you on that one. And those are my big holdings. CleanSpark is a big holding of mine. Bitfarms is a big holding of mine. My medium holdings are Riot and Hive, and I don't talk about it much, but I do hold a lot of DigiHost, but it's too small, so I don't spend a lot of time talking about it. But
I have to say something because Peters said something. Tom's not married. He's available, ladies. I always say that to everybody.
Great.
He's single and he's ready to mingle.
Oh, half of that's true.
You decide which one, right? Oh, and XRP, and here's why I love XRP. And again, who knows? I'm hoping millionaire from XRP. But here's why I like XRP. Canada just adopted it for their World Bank, and so did India. India just announced this past week that they're going to use it. Again, this is not financial advice. Please do your own research. But I just think that XRP has a great platform. From what I can tell and going into it and understand them, I think it's there. I think that and there's got to be a reason why the SEC kept this going. And it gets real deep, and I know you guys don't want to hear about it, so I'm not going into it. But it's just sad because it just seems like they've been set up. But go on.
It looks to me, I just want to make sure, it looks to me like Cannon won the Ryan, the guy's guy.
Okay, so
recommended
it looks like
Cannon. And I think that is the winner. So let me know if I'm
15.
wrong.
Yep, it was. No, that was the one.
So, all right. And I'm going to look at, I got a lot of good suggestions, so I'll look at all those stocks, but I will do a video on Cannon and let you know what I think.
And is it HUD? Who isn't that's supposed to be marginable that isn't? Yeah, is it Hive?
Hive has not yet put options out.
I wonder why that is. It's been long enough. You know why that is?
I don't know why that is.
Is that something that Hive has to do and approve, or is it something the exchange do?
So I'm getting a recount. I'm sorry, I'm getting a recount. Corey actually Corey asked for Hive. And he did 4 different super chats. So
Hive won.
I guess Hive won. So yes, congratulations, Corey. I don't know if anybody, let's see.
I think it's going to be weak over the weekend too. But I will tell you this. Why is BTBT underperforming? This is what Tom just said as Tom looks at us up. Tom just said because they don't give us enough up-to-date information like the other miners do. And it's just so hard to follow whether they're telling us. It's still from that they were under a lawsuit. No, was it a lawsuit or did somebody just complain to the SEC?
There was a short report that it was the worst short report I've ever read in my entire life. They said that the company doesn't exist and all of the management's going to jail. I never saw anything like that. All right, Ryan, the guy's guy, wants Cannon, so
no, he's back
wins.
To the win, and he wins. He wins.
You got it. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You guys might find this interesting, but hang on, I'm going to check. I think I could be 100% in miners right now. Because to me, everything else is just too risky. I mean, if you look at the stock market, and again, this is from what Tom tells me, and I just feel that they are overvalued. Everything's overvalued. And did you see that? Hive has options starting today. Max
today.
Look at that. Look at we're on the cutting edge. We don't even know it, and we're on the cutting edge.
All right, that's funny. I checked this morning pre-market. I didn't see, so today's the day. I don't really know what was the deal there. Hut 8 and Bitfarms got their options up and running much faster, but good. I'm glad to hear that. That's going to help the stock price, in my opinion. So, and I hold a lot of shares of Hive, so I'm glad to hear that.
And to me, one of the coolest things is when you get to sell options and make that free money. I'm sorry, it just I don't know why I like that the most. I guess it's because I've been burned on options so many times.
Yeah, you got burned buying them so many times. You want to sell them now.
Yeah, I'm like I ain't mind selling these things. Investor with discount solutions sentiment is low, and their only target is by $22.
Oh, 3 exahash by Q3 of 2022 is going to put them way behind the competition. So, yeah, and they are in the UK, and I just have had a hard time following them, but I'll try to dig in. But it sounds, thanks TPG, those are the things I suspected. 3 exahash, it's funny, that's more than anybody's doing right now, but it's by far less than everybody's going to be doing by the summer of 2022. I think that Marathon and Riot are almost right at 3 right now, but not quite.
Yeah, I saw wheat stocks did start moving. Tom, I have another question for you. Somebody said this to me. All these people mining, what happens? Don't they mine more coins?
What do you mean?
You don't mine more coins because there's more people mining?
No, the same amount of coins get mined no matter how many machines are set up, and no matter how, so the difficulty level changes. So there's a formula that difficulty level changes every couple of weeks, I think, so that it all balances. They don't want all they want the Bitcoin mined over, I think, the year 2140, so like 100+ years from now is when the last Bitcoin is going to be mined. So I think it's like each block is like 6.25 Bitcoin or something like that. So that rate will stay the same. It doesn't matter how many machines that they add. It just means that each machine will mine less Bitcoin. However, with all the North American miners, so that's your global hash rate. But the miners that we've been talking about are increasing their hash rate at a pace that is way outpacing the increase in the difficulty level. So for that reason, they'll be making more and more money.
Sherry, okay. Don't hate me. We don't hate you. We love you. Oh, Lux. Ooh. I love Lux. I did love Lux, but I'm not in love with Lux right now. What are your thoughts on BFCH, Tom? I'm holding 20,000 shares. There aren't penis number to cover them, so they will be soon. I don't think he even knows who that is, Tom. Do you know who that is?
Oh boy. Okay, well, now at least I know why you're holding 20,000. Yes, I do know who that is. I didn't, though. I didn't recognize that. At 7 cents, that's not as scary as I was thinking. These are another guys that, you know, I followed them for a while, and I still don't know if they're mining any Bitcoin. So, like 9 months ago, announced its miners are online, and then you looked into it, and it was like a few miners. And here's all their, like, this is all their news releases. I can't find any, when I can't find info on companies like this, I get very scared. Like, they came out of the guns with some great plans and talked about what they were going to do. And the other thing, you know, they got their market cap totally wrong here. Yahoo does that frequently. You know, these are great high risk plays. So, but I wouldn't put a fortune into this. If you want to have a small amount of your portfolio into this, it could be a huge winner, but these scare me.
So, and that's a great example. So Tom told me about Lux. When was that? Back in May? Was that May?
Somewhere back around May.
Around May. So May, it was like 20 cents. We bought every single share we could get our hands on. We bought.
George had to call the Canadian exchange and
yeah.
So yeah, we backed up the truck on.
Yeah, and then I sold them at like in the 60s. So I mean, was it a good play? It was an unbelievable play then. I mean, is it a good play now? I still don't know why, and no one will answer me of why they went to the German market stock exchange and not the United States. That's the only concern that I have regarding them. There must have been a reason why. You know, whether they couldn't come up with some type of financial form or something is what I'm thinking. Or what do you think, Tom? I mean, what are the reasons that you could come up in your head?
I can't even speculate as to why they would do that. Right now, it's been a huge trend for companies to simultaneously add themselves onto the NASDAQ. So I don't know why they didn't do that. They are a little bit smaller than most of the other companies. We looked at what they're doing. I mean, I had a positive feeling on them, but I would have to revisit that again. We did our deep dive on that a while ago. So, yeah. And I don't know why they would do that. They may have some reason that we have no idea. You know, maybe some of their major investors are there, or who knows. But
at one point in time, I was a major investor. That was actually kind of neat there for a minute. But they just kind of fuzzled. They just like they've become stuck. And you could kind of see it. And it was just like, I don't understand why you guys are so stuck right now. I mean, all this good thing going on with Bitcoin, and they're stuck. And so that was the reason I got out of them. I was just like, this doesn't make any sense at all. But it is pretty neat when they got to call you up and get you to... I'm joking.
Well, that's one of the things, you know, there's there's 10 or 12 miners that put out a lot of information, and they're big enough that they're, they're not fly-by-night operations, and you can do a deep dive and get comfortable so that if it's lagging, like when Bitfarms was lagging, I mean, people were probably laughing at me in September. I bought in September and October, I think almost every single day I bought more Bitfarms, but they were giving them away. So, and since I knew the stock through and through, I was extremely comfortable that it was going to have a run up. I did several videos on that. So, and you can't, with Bitfrontier, I can't do that. All I can do is just hope that good things are going to happen for them. They have high volume trading, 2 million shares a day. Now at 7 cents, that's not a lot of dollars, but it's very liquid trading. I will also say, if anybody watched, there's a major YouTuber, and I don't want to say their name because I watch their channel from time to time, and I like them, and they do a great job, but they did a HUT 8 video yesterday and made a massive, massive error in their calculation. So I like HUT 8. I own HUT 8. This is not financial advice, but
well, and I won't mention another YouTuber that did information on miners and completely does not understand how they operate and why you can only trade on a value of the stock. He probably backed his bus up and bought a whole bunch. If they have 100 Bitcoin, then that's the value of their company because they're just mining Bitcoin. What future value do they have?
That was another strange. If any of you guys have seen these, then you'll know what I'm talking about. Otherwise, I just wanted to let everybody know, because if you do see that video, it looks like...
I know nothing about Academy Sports and Outdoors, just so you know. I don't know if you do, Tom. I mean, it's just such a random thing. It's a 4.2, basically.
Oh, Sherry knows who I'm talking about.
$4.2 billion market share. It looks pretty healthy. But, I mean, you know what I find? And this was one of the things that, again, I'm new to stock and trading, and I own my own small business. And I can tell you this. None of these people are going to make any money this year. And when I say none of them, I mean, I would say, what percentage of the people of the top 100 companies do you think will actually turn a profit this year?
You're talking about in the overall market?
Yes. Were they all turn profits?
The big companies are making big money. It's a lot of these small to mid cap companies that are turning into meme companies. Most of those companies are not making money.
So you would say the Fortune 500 are fine, and then anything below that usually?
You would fall down if you saw what some of these companies. I mean, it's all publicly traded. You can read their 10Ks, but they're making billions, tens of billions, hundreds of billions. I'm talking about income. Let's put it this way. Apple has, I think, $240 billion sitting on their balance sheet because they don't know what to spend it on. They're buying their own stock back. They got so much money. So the big guys are making a lot of money, but there are so many companies like the one we just looked at, like half the ones in the EV. The EV sector is a very strange sector. It's like the haves and the have-nots, because a lot of these companies have massive market values and they have no sales and or no profit, whereas some of these companies just have already gotten the life sucked out of them and they're trading at $100 million or $400 million. So
start guessing, pal. Get it, pal? PGO. Yes, if you come within 1,000 shares, I'll tell you if you're right or wrong, or higher or lower. I let's put it this way. I didn't know how many Bitfarms I owned until I looked the other day. And you got to understand, Tom's like screaming in my ear, buy more. You don't understand. In a year, you're going to be kicking yourself. Buy more. And he just sits there and yells at me, buy more, buy, back it up, buy and buy. And then I'd be like losing money. He goes, don't worry about it. Just keep buying.
I also have a lot of leap options in Bitfarms. So, some of my plays aren't straight up stock. you know, so these miners are a way to leverage Bitcoin, and leap options are a way to leverage the stock. So a lot of these, I do that. I do a combination of owning the stock and owning some leap options. So, but by Bitfarms is by far my biggest position. But Riot's a healthy position.
Well, we ran over today, so I like that idea. Ryan, I hope you're going to be with us Sunday at 7:30 for our first options, to understand options 101 and to come up with our strategy for the week. What happened? Just closing. What happened to CleanSpark today, Tom?
I don't know why they're lagging behind. They caught all the way back up and got green for a few minutes at the end of the day. I don't know if they closed green, but they were red almost all day long. The only thing I can say is they had an unbelievable run over the last month, so they may just be cooling off. This is what happens with these miner companies. You got to be paying attention because they don't all run at the same time. And it doesn't necessarily, like, why Marathon was, you know, through the moon today and CleanSpark didn't move. They both do the same thing, so, you know, not at the same scale. And Mr. Bro is saying, but what if Bitcoin is in a bear market? So I was saying earlier, I don't think there's going to be a bear market for Bitcoin in the way that people are used to thinking about it. So yeah, there'll be pullbacks, and I'll hold through those pullbacks, but I'm seeing 10%, 20% pullbacks, and maybe even because it's crypto, a 30%, but I think they're going to be short-lived. We have a very long, the dynamics of what's happening in Bitcoin has changed so drastically that I think we have quite a long bear run ahead of us.
Al higher.
Or bull run, I'm not sure if I said bull run. Quite a long bull run ahead of us.
Of course, I mean, Ryan is our #1 fan. Ryan!
And Brandon
higher, by the
is
way,
saying no, but I don't know to what.
Higher. No.
Just say no.
Just say, oh, maybe he was going back and listening to if he believes in Plan B or not. When people restart it and listen, then they would pop in their
Gotcha.
I think we're gonna go 63. Why you look at? We were gonna end on a really good note, okay, Sherry, and you had to go ahead and do that.
Hey, I'm okay with that. We'll close out by looking at the chart. This is still a very happy chart for the day. And you know what? If it wants to pull back a little bit after the market closes, and if it needs to retest 63,000, I don't think it's going any below that. I've been very adamant. I thought we were going to hold the line at 63, and we did. I don't think we're ever going back below 60 for the foreseeable future. However, I don't know that. This is not financial advice. With Bitcoin, anything can happen. But yeah, we got one little bit of red candle here, but that's all right. We could have a huge weekend for all we know.
And just so you know, I'm going into...
Yeah, Taproot's almost here, Mark Twain.
I'm going into, if you want to join the audience, go into, join the Discord, and go to Early Morning Ideas, which will be 8:45 every day. And I'm doing an after show talk. You want to come into this time with me?
What are you doing?
I'm going to invite you into Discord here in a second.
Okay.
So if Tom can figure out how to get into Discord, he'll be on for like 15 more minutes on Discord.
It may take me 5 minutes to get in there, but I'll join you.
All right. Okay. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Do we answer all the questions before we go? If you haven't looked at BITQ options, you are missing out. I'll look at... Is that Bitfarms? Oh, you missed it, Mark. We were talking all over about how much... what we were doing with those earlier in the show.
So Ryan, the guy's guy, congratulations. You win.
When are you going to put that out?
Sometime by the end of next week, I will have a video out on that. I want to make sure, you know how I do this. I'm going to spend 15 hours on this thing.
Okay.
So, I know a little bit about them, but I've never done a deep dive on them. So I want to make sure I know what I'm talking about. So congratulations, and thank you so much, everybody. I always want to close out by saying thank you so much for all your comments on my videos. You guys don't know how much that helps me. This is what George and I are here to do this for. We're trying to help people. So when you guys letting me know that you like the videos and that this is helping, I appreciate that so much. So thank you very much.
Oh, hang
everybody.
on. If Steven could put up the Discord one more time before we close out. And then I was just gonna say one thing. What was it? BITQ? Or I'll figure out what it is. You guys, I don't know what it is. Oh, is this NGHI? Real quick questions, Tom. NASDAQ listing, what's that? Do you know or no?
I don't know NGHI.
Hang on, let's look it up real quick before we go. Hopefully, is your son still there, Tom?
Yes.
Can you throw that up?
I think he just threw that up.
Yay! There it is. And somebody's listening, by the way. There's one person in right now.
In Discord? What are you on, Discord?
Yeah, I'm on Discord right now.
What was I doing?
Who is this? Diary of Twain. That's thanks for joining. Just got another one. Is hurt to do? It's her to do. T-Bone. Okay, that's the coolest name ever.
T-Bone.
T-Bone. And add what?
DGHI is DigiHost.
Are they going?
I'm just used to the. Because
Yeah.
I'm in the U.S., I trade that over the counter right now, HSSHD. But yeah, DGHI, DigiHost, is one of my biggest holdings. Ryan, thanks for mentioning it. And yes, I don't know, they are uplisting. I don't know what the date is though. They did that reverse stock split so that, they could qualify.
Did they announce?
I didn't see I didn't look at the news today. So
Ryan G, thanks.
Let's just do that right now.
Oh, Sherry Bowberry, thanks for joining. AH44, thanks for joining.
Whoa!
TBG, thanks for joining.
So thank you to Ryan Richardson. I had not read this. DigiHost to commence trading on NASDAQ on Monday, November 15th. Bam! Well, that is one of my very biggest positions, so I'm glad that will be on the NASDAQ now.
Vincent, thanks for joining. Is it RYSO? Thanks for joining. Ron Ben, thanks for joining. Len Rock, 21, thanks for joining. I have no idea, but Halliston, thanks for joining. Edwin, thanks for joining. BCC, thanks for joining. Dark Siege, thanks for joining. George, thanks for joining. Blitten, thanks for joining. GG Pal, thanks for joining. Kiddo,
Wow,
thanks for joining.
Everybody. That's awesome.
JP Justin, thanks for joining. Willis, thanks for joining. And then was it Ryan, the first guy? Oh
Yeah.
wait, it says you're a prostitute, Ryan. And then it was we're in with prostitution. Thanks for joining.
That is
And
not
then
how we're ending.
Okay, I don't know. This is just, I gotta spell it. I'm sorry. PREATORIAN. Thanks for joining. Again, guys, jump over to Discord. We're gonna be signing off. Tom, anything?
Right. Thanks again, everybody, so much, and I guess I'll try and get over to Discord.
See you guys.
All right. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks again.